Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for the anime Devilman Crybaby, and I don't think that this is a bad anime. I did not really enjoy it, but I don't think it's bad. It's just mainly my personal preferences on certain things within the anime, but I still think that it's pretty good. So, the series centers on Akira and his friend Rio, and of course they're in high school and all that, except Rio is a professor and comes back to Japan and kind of gets back with his friend Akira, who's kind of this weak kind of kid who cries a lot, but sometimes he cries for himself, but sometimes he's crying for other people. Like, he knows that someone is sad and he's crying for them. And he is enlisted in Rio's campaign of finding and defeating the Demon Scourge. And he takes him to this, like, Sabbath party where people are, like, having sex and doing drugs. And, of course, the demons start possessing people and all that and mutating them into crazy creatures and all that. And he says, alright, Emon, go for it now. And he possesses Akira and turns him into Devilman. He is possessed by a demon but still retains the heart of a human, and they start going off and trying to fight demons. And my biggest kind of issue with this is it's really kind of a misdirect, and I think that it needed more episodes to kind of do that misdirect a little bit better, because the first couple episodes I thought, okay, we're going to go through, and it's going to be kind of like a detective kind of series, and he gets his power up, they start fighting demons at night and all that, and that's how it's kind of going to go. Now, I don't mind that it changed like that, but there's only 10 episodes, and that's one of my biggest kind of complaints, is that when the story kind of escalates towards the end, you're not given a lot of time to kind of absorb the impact of that. Because we at first see Akira kind of going and taking demons out. We see Rio kind of helping him find all these demons, kind of recording it so that way he can show it to the world and show what's going on and take steps against it, I guess, because Rio is really an asshole. He doesn't really care about people that much. His motivations are kind of like weird. And that's explained at the end and the penultimate kind of changing of what goes on at the end. But they get to a point where they see that this track star dude got really fast out of nowhere. And he's probably possessed by a demon as well, because we saw that change in Akira. I really got to hand it to him. I liked how they handled the physical change of Akira before he was possessed, and then after he was possessed. So, Rio kind of pulls an oddball on him and pretty much forces the one dude to turn into his demon form and start messing with people, and this starts this whole kind of escalation of complete and utter destruction of the world. It's completely crazy. Again, going into the pacing of it goes from 0 to 100 real quick. And, of course, all these people are getting possessed by demons. People are just killing and murdering each other. Demons are eating people and everything. And we find out that the family that Akira was living with, things go bad. One of the kids get possessed, eats the mom, the father finds out and goes nuts. They get taken out. Of course, Akira's mother and father get killed as well. His father gets possessed and eats his mother. It gets crazy, man. And the world just kind of descends into this chaos, and it was perpetrated by Rio, and we find out that he's Satan, because they try to kill him, and when we see the angel bombs coming in, that kind of freaks him out, but we've seen throughout the rest of it allusions to it, and he was doing it for the demons pretty much, because they were essentially the dinosaur kind of thing. It's kind of weird. It started throwing a lot of things at you at once. Once you're starting to figure out what's going on, that these demons would kind of combine and everything to be stronger and all that. And he kind of looked at them as a better kind of being at that point before, and then of course once his rebellion against God kind of went south, he lost his memory and he was a little child and he befriended Akira, and that's what kind of led to these events. He unknowingly pretty much went with his way, and he then started having the demons to try and take out humanity, which is kind of what God was kind of doing. It's really strange. There's a lot of deep stuff in there, but the way it was kind of done in only kind of 10 episodes kind of screwed with me. So we've got Satan and his horde of demons pretty much trying to take out all the humans. Akira is able to get some more Devilman and together, and they start fighting, and they're helping him and everything, but it doesn't matter at the end. Satan has killed Akira, but he said that he didn't think that love existed, but felt remorse of killing his friend before, of course, God wipes the slate clean again, and we see at the end that there's 2 moons on Earth, showing that after the initial demon wipeout, that's when the first moon came into being. So this cycle keeps repeating and repeating. Hopefully, people and Satan learn a lesson and stop this kind of senseless violence, because that's what Akira was trying to stop. Because it gets to the point where everyone he has loved and cared about and tried to help and protect was killed. And it affects him deeply. And I like that point, but there is another point in the anime that kind of messes with that, because there's a scene where he rapes a demon. There's no kind of ifs, ands, or buts about it, because at first she was like, oh, give it to me rough kind of thing, because she thought it was Emon. But that, of course, is kind of a red herring, because it's never really dealt with going forward, because he doesn't like speak to her spirit or anything. And they start fighting, and he's pretty much got her killed, and he's like raping her in midair. It's kind of jarring, but it still goes with the whole violence and sex and everything that's going on in here. But it just was never dealt with. Now, granted, I understand you got 10 episodes, and you really get to a crazy end at the end, so you can't do every little thing, but this was a kind of a big thing that I thought should have been addressed, since he's supposed to have the heart of a human and all that. It's just really weird. And, now granted, the animation's good. I can objectively say that. Now granted, it's not my kind of style. I like how they tried to do the, it's, how do I say it? It's kind of like a raw kind of feel, and really kind of flowy. And it really works well with the action scenes. I really like the action scenes going through it. But it just, it's not usually my typical style. I usually kind of like cleaner kind of style animation. So I do acknowledge that it's really pretty good, but it's just not my kind of style. And the story I don't mind. I just felt that it was not given pace enough and time enough to kind of breathe to get to the point, which is really kind of strange. I've usually seen more stuff of like, oh god, it is taking forever, what's going on here, more than, whoa, you gotta slow down. I would have really recommended at least 12 episodes, possibly 24, 25, just to kind of build up a kind of better pace and an ebb and flow and kind of let things breathe a little bit. But it's not completely harmed by it. You can still understand what's going on. I just felt that it escalated so quickly and did so crazily that it almost takes it down, but not quite. It doesn't completely destroy the narrative as it's going, but it really could have benefited from, I don't know, doing a better misdirect with like a ha-ha kind of moment, and then eventually showing more of an escalation and more of an escalation with what's going on with the humans and the demons and all that kind of effect. So, I guess if I would recommend this, you'd really have to be alright with nudity, sex, and violence, because this is it's really hyper in it. It's really puts that stuff front and center. Character-wise, it does a lot of good for developing Akira's character and Ryo/Satan's character. It's mainly more Ryo/Satan's story rather than Akira's. And if you go in with that kind of mindset, it makes better sense. But of course, you don't get to that point until you get to the end. But I would definitely recommend it if you're into that. But if you're not into that kind of stuff and are really kind of squeamish, just avoid this one. So, yeah. So, those are my opinions on the anime. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.